Father. May his soul rest in peace. The minority leader, you're welcome back. Yeah, Honorable Linda, you now have company. You now have two of you, only two of you that still wear masks in chambers. Both on the minority side. They're fighting for all kinds of survival, including political survival.
Look, Mr. Speaker, the COVID protocol is still on.
Pardon?
The COVID protocol.
COVID protocol. Where are you? Are you not here that have you not heard that COVID is over?
You can't enter Nigeria.
There's no protocol again.
Without logging into the portal and ensuring that you give them your location. Secondly, you must wear mask everywhere you are before you enter Nigeria. That is the protocol.
Before you enter Nigeria?
Yes.
When you enter Nigeria, go.
You still wear.
Come and arrest all of us here. Honorable Linda, you've come with a thought color mask with a scarf to match today. No. Are there any member that has any petition today?
Mr. Speaker, sir. Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, my name is Shaba Ibrahim. I represent Lokoja Kogi Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I have 3 petitions in all. One is from Transparency and Accountability Initiative, civil society organization, and 2 others from civil society organizations too.
Body want to oppose this bill? We'll put a question. You want to, okay, Honorable Nolly.
Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, my name is Nolim Nachi. I represent the Kano East West Federal Constituency. I'm from Enugu State. Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, please, I just want to, I'm really worried why we need a university for transportation. I really don't understand having a university for transportation. So then can they just explain this to us? I don't understand why we need a university for that.
University for Transportation.
Thank you very much, the Chairman Aviation. It's good that as Chairman Aviation, you raise this very germane question. I hope it is not in the process expose your shortcomings of the nitty-gritty of the workings of the aviation sector and indeed transportation as a whole. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, transportation is a specialized sphere of influence. It contains aviation, road transportation, marine transportation, and what have you. And such, there is a need for us to have a specialized institution that is going to train Nigerians on various aspects of transportation across the value chain of transportation. And that is why we needed a specialized institution. Like we have a Admiralty University in Delta State. We have Petroleum University. We have Agriculture University. In some other clubs, we have universities that specifically deal with education, universities that specifically deal with aspects that concerns medicine. So mutatis mutandis, it also applies to transportation. It's a specialized sector with a whole lot of value chain across the sector that needs specialized institutions. And it is also going to go a long way in creating employment for our teeming unemployed youth, because some of these things we rely more on non-Nigerians to fill the gap. And that is why we are proposing for the establishment of the Transportation University.
I think Honorable Noli's point is, where do we stop, and how do we fund this university?
Oh, okay.
But
it's issue of funding.
how do we fund it?
Funding is going to be from the federal government coffers.
But
Funding
right
is
now,
going to
the
be from
universities that
government
we
coffers.
have, you can see the problem with universities right now. But I mean, that's the point I think he's trying to make. But Deputy Speaker.
Your Excellency, Mr. Speaker, respected colleagues, my name is Ahmed Idris. I represent Uwase Federal Constituency. I want to beg my colleague on possibly the introduction of the language used by my brother and Chibu of the House. I think it's important that we speak in one unison in terms of what we can do to promote and enhance our development as a country. Your Excellency, as a civil engineer, and many of the engineers will also attest to the fact that transportation is one critical sector within the engineering company or discipline of civil. And it's important that we have this doing. As of moment today, sir, we have one of the institutions that offer up to HND in Kaduna, Institute for Transportation. So it is not new, it is not a new system that is being introduced, but something to enhance, to encompass, and to diversify. And I'm also aware, as a chairman of federal character, that at one moment, Nigerians were taken out of the shore of this country to go and study this particular course, because in some climate, those who have this kind of could also be an attraction to source of revenue into the country. So it is not a one-way matter, but I want to believe it will enhance, it will help. And to further it also, I remember that I was opportune to visit Daura alongside with you, maybe because of the speedy nature of how the thing has come. I saw the site, I saw the infrastructure. On the day we went for Honorable Fatu's empowerment. This is already established. I think what they are trying to do now is to find backing for the institution that have already been established. Mr. Speaker, respected colleagues, I want to beg you in the interest of our country to allow this bill to be read the second time. Thank you, sir.
Honorable Ifeanyi.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Honorable Ifeanyi Chudimom, I speak for the people of Ihiala, Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm just thinking aloud because we have the NITT, Nigerian Institute of Transport Technology, in Zaria, which is less than 50 kilometers to Daura. The point I'm trying to say, Mr. Speaker, is regardless of the kilometers, when there is an institute of transport technology which deals with the science of the transportation itself, why are we now looking at establishing a Federal University of Technology? We can amend the enabling law, the enabling act, and upgrade the NITT to a Federal University. Because why I'm saying this, Mr. Speaker, is the constant proliferation of universities in our country is not helping us. That is the truth. We have so many universities here and here. We have so many university bills, and at the end, when it is approved, we will now be talking about funding, no funding. And we know the current situation we are facing right now in the academic sector. So I plead with the sponsor of the bill to reconsider in interest of public policy. Thank you.
Chairman, Education.
Honorable Speaker, honorable colleagues, I am from Kano State, and my name is Comrade Amin Suleiman. I represent Pagi Federal Constituency. Honorable Speaker, colleagues, I do not have quarrel with our colleagues interrogating the essence of establishing a federal university for transportation. I don't have problem with that. The problem I have, sir, has to do with what I will describe as a collective guilt by all of us. I'm not sure there is more than 10% of members here that have not proposed a bill for establishment. Less than 10% of the members here, bearing different nomenclature, different.
You're saying 90% have proposed universities.
Yes, I stand to be corrected. Everybody. So, if today we are here now challenging a particular one, then first we have to do self-assessment. Secondly, sir, is our own consciousness as members as it relates to our function. Even as chairman of education, sir, I still cannot fathom why executives should by peers be establishing institution and later will now come to ask us to legalize it. We have slept continuously over our job and we need a wake-up call, honestly speaking. So I would rather appeal to my colleagues that in order not for the people of Daura to feel that there are own institutions is being singled out for attack and interrogation, let us kindly allow this one to, but then we do a self-assessment and begin to treat these matters as objectively as they should. This is my view.
Honorable colleagues, Honorable Suleiman raised a very fine point. Do we, as a policy, unless it's absolutely necessary, agree now that we put a hold on this establishment of universities? I mean, we'll put this question, this is separate, but moving forward after this, do we put a hold on this proliferation of universities? We'll put this question first. On this bill, it's a concurrence bill from the Senate. It's a concurrence bill from the Senate, so we'll put that question first. And then we'll now answer how we move forward. Those in support of this bill, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. The ayes have it. Honorable colleagues, do we continue to bring bills for university establishments at this point in time when we know there's even no revenue? Those in support, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Let me just hear from. This is a more serious matter. We've been meeting with ASU. We had a 5-hour meeting with ASU a couple of days ago. What they said, which was uniformly agreed, was that this establishment of universities, I mean, even in their NUC, the NUC bill that is before us for amendment, they pleaded that, we curb is what they use. So let me hear from two leaders, and then we'll put that question again. DS, and then minority leader.
Your Excellency, Mr. Speaker, respected colleagues, my name is Ahmed Idris. I represent was a federal constituency of Plateau State. Your Excellency, I want to believe that one of the functions of this parliament
Please, the DS is on the floor. Please.
Order, please. Order, please. Silence, please. Honorable Unoli, take your seat.
is to
Honorable Galadima, take your seat. Leader, take your seat.
Your Excellency, like I was mentioning, one of the functions of this parliament is to make laws for the good governance of our country. And I believe that to shut down members' opportunities in time to make bills may not be in the best interest. Yes, until we have a development plan to say this is what we are going to do. But for now, every sector and every community is struggling to have one infrastructure or the other. Secondly, you know how politicians behave, sir. Out home, when some people don't hear their own community mentioned, whether the bill will be signed or not signed, assented to, it is also a negative politically. And those who have gotten the scores have gotten. And those who have not gotten now, if you say don't do that, you may also be putting the opportunity to jeopardy. I'm sorry to come live, but I believe this is one of the reasons is political. And thirdly, sir.
Silence, please. Silence, please.
Of institutions we have is about our commitment. I was mentioning to you the other time, one us were asking that we should come with a measure to stop it. I said, no, it's not going to be possible. And I mentioned to you one community, one state in US, where we have Harvard situated, have over 300 universities.
Yeah, but DS, those universities are not being funded by government.
They are not funded by government.
They're not being funded by government.
I agree, sir. They are not funded by government. It's about our policies. If we are true to working on our policies, we have a UN convention as to what was supposed to be doing, UNESCO percentage to education, and various treaties. If we are doing that and following that strictly, I want to say that we will have more universities and there will be more room for funding and we'll have the best of education in our country. Thank you, sir.
Minority Leader, then we move on.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I remain Honorable Dodi Godwin Elubelu, and I represent the good people of Anyocho Shimle Federal Constituency. I'm from Delta State. Mr. Speaker, in my opinion, I think that it is not wise that we shut down every voice of every member on this floor as it relates to sponsoring a bill for establishment of either College of Education, Polytechnic, or university in their various communities. Mr. Speaker, I said it because when you go home and you are talking to your people, most often, first thing they ask you is, why are you not bringing any school to your constituency? And when you say it is not possible, and they watch and see other colleagues move same motion of a bill for the establishment, it becomes a negative for you as an individual who is representing them. So whether it is signed or not is not the issue. The issue is that that member is able to show that he has the interest of his constituents at heart. And that is why he has decided to bring forward to that bill for the House to consider it. How the House considers it is another game. When it is considered taken to Senate for concurrence is another game. When eventually the both chambers passes it and sends it to the executive for assent is also another game. But outside that, addressing the issue you've raised, perhaps when it comes to issue of funding, I think the committee should do some little work and find out how we can come to the agreeable terms on how to fund some of the schools that will be further established in Nigeria. I think that is the way to go.
All right, so I think what we are saying now is that I think the problem is that there's a delicate balance between what they are telling you in the constituency, and even you know, and even please, and even you know that it's not practical, but we have to do what the constituency are saying. We have to, there's a balance between that and what is good, when we know what is right. And I get your point, and I get the DS's point as well. So it's that balance that we have to strike. But for me, I think this matter will be resolved when we pass the amendment to the NUC, where perhaps we can make the establishment of universities more stringent. Otherwise, you run into a situation where a state government or whoever will just come, get a building or 2-3 buildings, put it together, and say they want a university. Anything worth doing is worth doing well. Universities are citadels of knowledge. And you don't just set up, even all over the world, you have mushroom universities, and we don't want that. We don't want that. Like they say, garbage in, garbage out. So we have to strike that balance, perhaps with the amendment to the Nigerian Universities Commission Bill. The same way we try to stop proliferation of banks and make it more difficult to establish banks, but not impossible. I think it's the same way we should go investing until such a time when government is no longer funding universities. When government is no longer funding universities, then you can, if you like, you can have 200 universities in one state. That is the business of the universities, not the business of the federal government at that point. So we've put this question on this bill. It has been passed. So I guess we have a few more months, and members can bring whatever bill on establishment as they want. Considering, especially because this is a year that is different from other years, I will not say too much about that. Yes. All right. So please bring them on, as many as possible. We'll move on. The second order of the, okay, this is referred to the committee. Long title, please. Chair.
Right, Honorable Speaker, honorable members. A bill for an act to provide for establishment of Federal University of Transportation, Daura, Katsina State, and for related matters. Second reading.
You refer to the committee of the whole. The second order of the day is commencement of debate on the general principles of a bill for an act to amend the Nigeria Sovereign Investment Authority, standing in the name of Honorable Mohammed Tahir Mongunu. Honorable members will recall that the bill was read the first time on Wednesday, 6 April 2022, and I invite Honorable Mongunu to move that the bill be now read a second time. Honorable Mongunu, what are you still doing in these chambers? What are you still doing here?
Mr. Speaker, INEC has not yet conducted election.
Please, INEC,
Yeah.
we need, this is public announcement, we need the by-election in Honorable Mongunu's constituency to be conducted.
Alternative, Mr. Speaker, I'm so used to this chamber that I still don't want to go to the other chamber.
Your members are saying that you should go so that there will be vacancy.
Yes, sir.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Speaker. Well, Mr. Speaker, honorable members, my name is Mohammed Tahir Monguno. I represent Marche Monguno Nganzai, Federal Constituency of Borno State. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I wish to crave your indulgence to step down the second reading of this bill to next week.
The second reading, step down until next week. Third order of the day is commencement of debate on the general principles of a bill for an act to amend the Dangerous Drugs Act, Cap D1, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, and for related matters, standing in the name of Honorable Francis Wave. Honorable members will recall that the bill was read the first time on Wednesday, 13th April 2022, and now invite Honorable Wave to move that the bill be now read the second time. Bill, step down. The fourth order of the day is a motion on need to curb the perennial flood disasters in Jigawa and Kano State. Standing in the name of Honorable Abubakar Hassan Fulata and 9 other honorable members, Honorable Fulata is invited to move the motion.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues, I am Abubakar Samfulata. I represent Berniwa Krika Sama Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Jigawa State. There's a slight amendment. We are 10, not 9. The name of Honorable Engineer Magaji Dao has been omitted, and therefore it will be recorded that he is part of the 10 members that are moving this motion. Honorable colleagues, House notes, the Nigerian Meteorological Agency, NIMET, on August 16, 2022, predicted the possibility of heavy and prolonged rainfall in 19 states between August and September, including Kano and Jigawa states, and called on the affected states to intensify mitigation, adaptation, and response mechanisms. Also note that the prolonged rainfall caused serious floods in Jigawa and Kano states, thus overflowing Tiga Dam, which resulted in scores of deaths. Further note that the flood destroyed houses, farmlands, livestock, and properties, and displaced residents and their livelihood in Berniwa, Kubayo, Masama, Siga, Dien, Pandum, Gapta, Maragwado, Ilalla, Baturia, Una, Musari, Abunabo, Gadimadam, Takaza, Matara, Gilakochini, Mayama, all in Jigawa State. In Kano State, the following federal constituencies had been affected badly, namely, and many farmlands have been submerged, namely, Wudilkarko Federal Constituency, Kura Gadimadam Federal Constituency, Dawakikur Federal Constituency, and Rano, Bunkure, Kibia Federal Constituency. Aware that the flood submerged about 50 villages in Krikasama and 30 villages in Buri local government areas of Jigawa State, thus destroying farmlands worth millions of naira. Also, many villages in Miga, Taura, Ringim, Kaugama, Malamaduri, Burnun Kudu, and Buji local governments have all been submerged, and many farmlands have been destroyed. Worried that the floods ravaged farm produce, properties, displaced a lot of residents in Larabawa Zuo, Sakarma, Ba'awa, in Kiru local government area, Tiga, Gwarmaji, Ungwar Tura, Bawai, Tubabu, Baden Boyi, Karugo, Kuki, Nasara Kuki, Bakin Kogi, Galgai, all in Bebeji local government area of Kano State. Also worried that residents of the affected communities are living in probable fear of being permanently displaced by raging floods, as well as attendant destruction of properties and outbreak of diseases, even as they are currently facing untold hardship and in the aftermath of the flooding. Cognizant of the need to dredge and fortify the walls of Tiga Dam to forestall future occurrence, House resolves: 1. Urge the Federal Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development to provide urgent relief assistance to the affected communities. Also urge the National Emergency Agency, NEMA, to provide relief materials and medical attention to flood victims in Jigawa and Kano states. 3. Further urge the Ecological Fund Office and National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, to take practical measures to towards forestalling future occurrence to enlighten residents of Jigawa and Kano states on early warning signs, clear drainages and canals to ease flow of water. Again, urge state governments to embark on awareness campaign for possible response activities in high-risk areas to mitigate further disaster. Finally, mandate the committees on emergency and disaster preparedness and environment to ensure compliance and report back within 5 weeks for further legislative action. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Amendment. Is Honorable Bio here? Please second. Bio. Mohammed Bio. Okay. Go ahead, don't worry. Honorable Deal.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. My name is Right Honorable Engineer Muhammad Ali Wudil. I represent Wudil Garko Federal Constituency. I'm from Kano State. The Speaker, I rise to second the motion as ably moved by my friend Honorable Abubakar Hassan Plata. I do second. Thank you.
Amendment, Honorable Maki.
Mic for me. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My honorable colleagues, I remain Abubakar Maki Eleman. I represent Malamudur Kaugama Federal Constituency. I'm from Jigawa State. My amendment, sir, is to include the Ministry of Works and FEMA agency to visit Bujungu Hadeja Road and also Kwanar Kaugama to Kaugama Road because there is a lot of damages by the flood. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Queen Oluga, please second.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Taiwo Oluga is my name. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Osun State. I rise to second the amendment as moved by my colleague. I so second.
Those in support of the amendment, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. Those in support of the motion as amended, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. Honorable colleague, the matter we took a couple of days ago on the oaths amendment is actually referred to the committee of the whole. The oaths authentication, okay? Committee on Tertiary Education. Honorable colleagues, this is just a gentle reminder to the relevant chairman and the principal officers. The continuation of our meeting with ASU is at 3 p.m. today. That's with the Wages Commission and NICTA, who we invited for 3 p.m. today. Let us all be in attendance, the relevant chairman and leaders. The fifth order of the day is a motion on recommittal of bills. Standing in the name of Honorable Abubakar Hassan Fulata, Honorable Fulata is invited to move the motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues. I am Abubakar Hassan Fulata. I represent Berniwa Krika Sama Gudi Federal Constituency, Mr. Speaker. I'm from Jigawa State. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, on the Committee of Bills, the House recalls that the following bills were passed by the National Assembly and transmitted to Mr. President for assent, namely National Youth Service Corps Trust Fund Establishment Bill 2021, House Bill 1795, School of Mines and Geological Studies, Akoko Edo Establishment Bill 2019, House Bill 441, Federal University of Science and Technology, Law, Taraba State Establishment Bill 2021, House Bill 1587, Chartered Institute of
Silence, please.
Directors
Silence,
of
please.
Nigeria Establishment Bill, etc. Bill 2021, House Bill 1571, Chartered Institute of Public Administration of Nigeria Establishment Bill 2019, House Bill 329. How knows the fundamental issues which require fresh legislative action emerged, hence reconsideration of the bills. House resolves to rescind its decision on the bills as passed and commit same to the Committee of the Whole for reconsideration. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Coro members, silence please, silence please.
Yes, Honorable Kabir.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My honorable colleagues, I remain Honorable Kabiru Idris, member representing Kura, Madobi, Garumala Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, my honorable colleagues, I'm from Kano State, and I rise to support this very important bill, heavily raised by Honorable Plata. I so support, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Those in support, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. We're going to skip consideration of reports till next week, and we'll move on straight to adjournment. Honorable Fulata, please move for adjournment. Which announcement? Which dead? Adjourn.
No, we'll do Tuesday.
Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I am Abubakar Fulata. I represent Berniwa Krika Sama Gudi Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Jigawa State. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I move this House to adjourn to Tuesday next week.
Honorable Benson and Honorable Raleigh Raji, please, you are disturbing the House.
I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Deputy Chair, Honorable Kuye, please second.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, honorable
Sorry,
colleagues.
I'm glad that-
My name remains Ademo.
Thank God, I didn't know. Thank God.
I rise to second the motion for an adjournment ably moved by the Chairman, Rules and Business. I so second, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable colleagues, Those in favor, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Yeah. Princess Oluga, what's going on today? Princess Oluga, do we adjourn or do we remain? Do we adjourn or do we remain? I'm asking you a direct question. I'm asking you a direct question. Do we adjourn the house or do we remain? Adjourn. Very good. Those in favor, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Chinedu? Huh? Who was it? Honorable Olawibi, please tell us, do we remain or do we adjourn? We adjourn. Those in favor, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Yeah, I have it.